From beyond vertical launch coasters to brand new reimagined versions of already built ones, even to rides with tilt drops and whatever the hell that thing is, 2024 is set to be an insane year for theme parks across the globe. And considering the fact that everyone everywhere is going slightly crazy over these rides, I thought why not compile a list of the 10 best new rides opening this year in 2024. A late Happy New Year, by the way. I've only really focused on the UK editions on this channel because we're getting 1994 Part 2, let's go! And I've discussed a couple other things here and there, but literally there are so many cool rides opening worldwide, so I've got to talk about them. And if you enjoy this top 10 and you want to see more videos just like this, then please be sure to subscribe to the channel. 1,500 likes and I will go and ride all of the top 5 in this video. That's going to be really difficult, but oh well. So the top 10 then, let's begin, shall we? Because usually this takes way too long, and it's probably going to again. Because, you know, for each one I want to in-depth analyse my opinions and, you know, calculate the diameter from about 34 degrees Celsius. Unpack my thoughts on these different rides. So if you disagree with my opinion, then fair enough. But if you do agree, you are a lot cooler than those who disagree. And also, knowing me, I have probably missed something major off this list, so if I have forgotten about it or haven't ranked it because maybe it wasn't good gravy enough, then please don't shoot me. Just let me know your rankings in the comments. Thank you. Number 10. God, I sound like an announcer then. This list starts with one that could be perceived as what I like to call slightly boring. I'm only joking. It's just a bog standard B&M dive coaster. But this coaster looks to pack a punch, especially for the park it's going to. It has two corkscrew 0G roll looking things. Obviously the vertical dive drop that goes into this really small Immelman, so that's gonna haul. And then there's also an inclined loop, which is weird. What the hell? It's called Iron Menace. Quite intimidating name, I say. Although some dive coasters are over 200 feet, so maybe it's not that intimidating. I'll call it Iron Somewhat Menacing. It is a great fit for Dorney Park in Pennsylvania, USA. Number 9. It is Flash Vertical Velocity at Six Flags Great Adventure. It's a Vekoma Super Boomerang. No, not just a Cobra Roll Lupin. It's a super boomerang this time. Instead of the traditional lift hills they usually have, it launches back and forth instead, and then it goes up into this really slow stall inversion. Hang time galore right there. It rolls down into a... Is that a second launch? Oh my god, I'm getting Mandrill Mayhem vibes here. Going up into a double up dive thing? That's really cool, actually. Come down from that element and you go in... Is that another launch? The amount of launches on this thing. Although I don't actually think these launches are doing anything until it goes backwards. Oh well. Roll up really nicely into this spike, and then you reverse, and do it all backwards. After the spike, going down that roll backwards would be crazy, to be fair. But either way, it looks fun and harmless. Number 9. We'll stick with that. Number 8 is something even more different and unique than that McDonald's coaster we just looked at, and that is the unofficially named ride in Universal Studios Japan. A Donkey Kong family roller coaster. Now you may be thinking, how have you put a family coaster above the two that you've just listed? What the... Please, let me explain. This ride has a very unique feature about it that I think everyone who's played Roller Coaster Tycoon or anything like that has dreamed of seeing on an actual ride. And that is the fact that this ride jumps the tracks. You know, like those clickbait thumbnails you always see. Basically, Universal have come up with a design where there's a fake track running under the train, but the coaster itself actually runs on a track below it. So because the fake track is fake, funnily enough, if they wanted to end that track and just have it go over water or something, all they have to do is keep running the one underneath it and you can make it look like it's jumping the tracks. And yes, I know it could be higher, but that's basically the only thing we know it does, and it is still a family coaster, but it's going to be really well themed, so it's going at number 8. Number 7. Now this is a coaster that comes as a park expansion with 2 brand new roller coasters, including this one. The other one's a small Vekoma boomerang. I don't care about that, I only care about super boomerangs now. Emerald Park in Ireland is getting this, a brand new inverting Vekoma suspended coaster. Not like those family ones you see, no. It's going upside down, this one. We don't actually know that much about this coaster, but we do know it's going to have a huge, twisted, steep drop down into the rocks. I'm sure I'll crack my feet against them. It's going to have many whippy inversions, some really low to the ground airtime moments, and swooping turns. And also, because I am a resident of the United Kingdom, the fact it is so close and it's going to be so epic. How amazing. But I'm sure it will make for such a fun, unique experience, and that area will be lovely. Number 6 is back over in America. That being Circuit Breaker at Cotaland, a brand new theme park opening right next to Kota. the Circuit of the Americas. Good name that. And as much as at the track next door they've stolen a section from Silverstone, they clearly haven't stolen many ideas for this coaster, because this is a tilt coaster by Vekoma, a brand new generation version of that famous Gravity Max ride you've probably seen before, because my god, it looks so much comfier than that monstrosity. You basically go up a lift hill, do that thing, which I've never done one before and they look terrifying. You go down a huge drop into a rolling dive? I don't know what that's called, but that looks pretty mad. Coming down from that, you go into another super fast barrel roll. That looks insane. Vekoma really be making a statement this year. Followed by a lovely airtime moment, a stall turn, some twisties, one final inversion, and into the brake run. I would ride Circuit Breaker number 5. Now this one is also not too far from our civilization here in the Great British Isles, because number 5 is Mahuka at Wallaby Ron Alps. I reckon I butchered that name, my apologies. It's a single rail roller coaster. One is finally coming to Europe. Sort of. It's actually an Intamin single rail, not an RMC. Same thing, right? Well, these ones seem to specialise in launches and seem to be a bit more punchy in speed, so I'll take it. The ride features some wacky elements, this really fast roll here, and 2 launches that both go into an element in the exact same place. That looks really cool. Now, from hearing about it, I originally put this quite low, but then I saw the POV of it. It does look insane, I can't lie. And the theming on this, I'm sure, will be lovely. It's guaranteed to be a very good ride, that. And we have reached number 4. Now, this one might have some slight bias to it. I live in the UK and I love Alton Towers, so at number 4 is Nemesis Reborn. The beast from 1994 is returning, and this time it's red and black. I feel really sorry for whoever had to paint all of those veins. Yes, I know it's not the most amazing coaster in the world, but for the legacy Nemesis had, for the amount of people that wanted and went and rode Nemesis, and for the story and the build-up that it's already had, to see it being retracked and reopen when it does, oh my god, it's got to be high up, doesn't it? And I would talk about it more as well, but I've spoke about it so much on this channel, I don't need to. Following Nemesis, which is a reimagined ride, is another reimagined ride, that being Top Thrill 2 at number 3. This is a Zamperla remade version of Intamin's Top Thrill dragster at Cedar Point, and instead of having one hydraulic launch, it's gone to a swing launch of LSMs, which means it's not going to be a very high acceleration, but it'll be fine. And with it being a swing launch, that means it's going to launch forwards and then backwards. But what is it going to go backwards into? Yes, as you can see, they've added a 400-foot spike to it. That thing looks huge, Jesus Christ. It will reach that original speed of about 120 miles an hour in 3 stages this time. And I seriously can't imagine doing a 90-mile-an-hour launch backwards. That's going to be crazy. Even if you don't like the fact the hydraulic launch is gone, the fact that you're going to go all the way up that spike before then going all the way up that top hat, it's going to make up for that so much. And we now reach the top 2. Number 2 and number 1 are very close together. They could change at any minute when I'm making a list of this, so it just depends what Big Mac I want. But for this video, and at this era of time right now, at number 2, I have put Hyperia at Thorpe Park. It's a Mack Rides hypercoaster, and just look at this thing. Need I say more? It's taking the height record in the UK from the beloved Big One roller coaster in Blackpool, beating it by 1 foot, and it's probably going to have the best drop on any roller coaster in the world. And the funny thing is, all of this is coming to the UK in Chertsey. Is this deserved? It's going to feature 2 inversions, an airtime based Immelman, a crazy outwards bank after a splashdown, a stall dive loop, that thing again. What on earth do we even call that? And it's going to tower over anything else in that park. It's genuinely going to be mental. At number 1, we have Voltron at Europa Park. This is another Mack roller coaster, and it's a multi-launch Big Dipper style ride that is going to be packed with the most amazing elements you could ask for. The coaster starts with a beyond vertical launch. Tell me that's a thing before like 2020 and I would just not believe you. I still don't even believe it now. It goes into multiple rolls, airtime moments, loops, and then it kicks into another booster launch halfway through. Oh my goodness. It has an amazing zero-G stall, which is going to give so much hang time. It has more airtime, more inversions, and then you hit what you may think is the last brake run. And you know, if the ride was done now, that would be an amazing ride in itself. Nope. There's still more to go. You stop on a turntable, you spin round, launch back and then forth again to crest over a top hat, and then you go into more elements. This ride has such a great layout and it's so long in duration, it's crazy. But yes, if you prefer speed and height, then I'd say Hyperia wins, but even with Voltron's layout, the complexity of it and the duration of it, it's mental. But yeah, I really want to go out and ride Voltron. It just looks incredible. And of course, so do many other rides on this list. But most importantly, what are your favourites? Leave it in the comments below and be sure to subscribe. Good night.